What's going on, guys? Michael here at 3D Print Everything, and another odd issue with these H2S's that I've only had with the H2S. Now, I don't push my P1S's like I do with these, so I'm just not giving them the opportunity to throw this code issue. Well, it's not even a code issue, to present this issue. But the issue in hand is it believes that there is filament in one of these when there's not. And this is actually very, very common. This happens like every day, multiple times a day, on multiple different machines. So this isn't just some fluke, this isn't just one thing. It's a constant issue. Not a massive one, definitely one that's easily overcome, definitely one that with just a little bit of time you can remedy it. But an otherwise annoying one that has slowed production by a percentage somewhere around 1 to 10% depending on the day. And I know that percentage specifically because when I come in from having all these printing earlier and 2 or 3 machines are blinking red because they think there's still filament here, but there's not, it then, instead of picking the roll next to it, demands you to get from the one slot. And that specifically looks like this. When their roll has gone empty, it then flashes and blinks right there instead of moving on to the next one. So it's not a consistent issue because most of them, I say about 80-90% of them, end up catching that second roll and recognizing that there's not filament there. But in cases like this one, it ran out of filament, still chose another roll somehow, finished the print job, but in its thing here reads that there's still a roll there. Now, I'm kind of curious because I have had sometimes that it just forgets altogether that there's an AMS. And I don't know why that is. Now, that is something that I've had happen on the P1S's, and I've had that happen multiple times on the P1S's, where you go back in to print something, and on the A1s. Surprisingly, it originated out of my A1 Mini, and it's happened on my A1 Mini several times, that it just takes a restart, and then all of a sudden it starts reading again. But again, here we don't. So I don't know. Like, let's just do an experiment here because I haven't even done this yet. Let's just take a random roll of filament and we will toss it in here to see how it reacts. So a little difficult, but see, it doesn't grab it like it thinks there's a roll of filament in there. So is it just? See, it still thinks there's filament. So, like, what do I gotta do in order to get this thing to not think there's filament here? Because, I don't know if it's just, like, what I'm guessing it is a little bit of filament fragment. Like this is built up inside the runners. And, if that's my only indication and the only thing that it's doing is causing this, then that's a small problem to at least get through this print job. But yeah, it's just it thinks there's filament right there and there's not. So it's just super frustrating because, like, here's what's going to happen is I'm going to now tell this printer to start a print. We want the custom tile print. We're going to hit next, and look, it says it wants to use A1, which there's no filament in it. So let's just pick A2 and hit print. But when I pick A2 and then it goes to let's say that roll runs out, well, which one is it going to try to pick? A1, where nothing is. So it just causes a hang up, and I don't understand why. If any of you have run across this and specifically fixed it, I was thinking maybe just putting some filament in there and out, it might have fixed it, but you know, it might require me to take these things apart and clean them, which would be a bit lame. But you know, once this run of PETG is gone, I won't have this as big of an issue anymore. And the other thing to mention in this, I'm just looking at something. So like this is what I'm talking about here. So I just printed some red stuff, and considering, well, okay, so here's the thing. It's either one of two things. Either one, the AMS2 specifically is pretty good at chewing filament and making a mess out of it, which is then jamming and junking stuff up, which I think the extruder is able to just kind of carry this along. It eventually gets finely ground and coated around the filament, and it just comes out anyways. That's what I'm thinking is going on, but if that's not what is going on, then it could be filament related, and this filament specific mixed with the AMS2 is causing this, and not all filament is going to wind up having this this junk and dust on it. So it's either Elegoo, some of the cheapest filament you can get your hands on. I just bought 10 packs of 4 for $39 each pack, so that makes it like just shy of $10 a roll, plus tax, a little over. But yeah, $10 a roll for PETG, great price. It prints good. It's what I printed all these with. It's reliable, but I do have that little shredding issue, and it's something that like literally is on all of them. Like generally, I see the buildup around the little. Yeah, right now these look pretty good, but I'm often taking it and wiping it off with my fingers. I'm looking to see if I see any more of it. Yeah, I don't really see it any right now, so I think it's doing good. But yeah, I often see that little buildup, and I don't know what is causing that, and that's super annoying. So anyways, if y'all have experienced that buildup, please comment down below so that I know it's more of a common issue. If y'all have experienced or found a fix for why it thinks there is a roll of filament there when there's not, or how to tell it there's not a roll of filament there, that would be great, because when you go into the screen, you know, there's not really anything, especially when it's running. But even when it's not running, you know, like let's look at this one real quick. So see, it's smart, but like I can't go in here and like tell it there's nothing there. You know, I can hit reset, maybe reset does it, you know, but I don't. See, it knows. So I've already started all these, and I don't feel like restarting that one. Well, yeah, it's already running, but I was thinking about doing it. But anyways, so like, share, subscribe, guys. I appreciate y'all watching my videos and following this story. But why do the H2Ss do that? Otherwise, you know, if you're watching this and you don't have an H2S and you're like, should I get one? Yes. To my knowledge, there is no other printer within this price range that is better, and I don't even know of a printer that's far exceeding this price range that's better. I mean, the only thing that really gets better than this type of printing is way outside the price range and not worth the money compared to what these guys can do. They're great machines. Highly, highly, highly recommend them. If you don't have 1800 to get an H2S, the P2S is your next best bet. The Bambu brand beats the heck out of every other brand. I repair printers like nearly every day. Funny enough, I repair more Bambu printers only because of the saturation of the Bambu market. Like, this is just one of those things to where, you know, I'm a very anti person. I am anti everything. I got on ChatGPT 2 and 3 before everyone else. You know, I was probably one of the first 100,000 or million, or within the first, you know, 10,000, 100,000, you know, or million people. I don't know what the exact number is, but I was talking about ChatGPT before it was mainstream. Now, you know, everyone and all their kids are on ChatGPT, and I don't use it. I use it very sparingly, rarely, And because everyone else is using it, I'm anti, ChatGPT, which is just funny. But I'm very anti mainstream, and Bambu could not be a more mainstream printer. That's just a fact. But I'm also very analytical and literal and mechanical, and definitely accepting when I'm wrong, and accepting when something just makes sense, even if it's mainstream. I mean, and at the end of the day, like, you still shop at Walmart and Kroger because of the convenience, not because you support it because it's some mainstream, specific brand. But Bambu, I actually have pride and admiration for because of what they've achieved. This isn't just I'm proud of some expensive ass printer I bought. This is I'm proud that a company actually built a good quality printer and offered it for an affordable effing price. Like the Stratasys Fortis machines, probably have more engineering time put into them and solve just a couple of issues more than these guys. But they're not consumer ready. They're tens of thousands of dollar machines, and solve problems that aren't needed for the average consumer and the average small business. Someone comes in and says, hey, I need a bunch of these average prints done, and you got to do it in 3 days. If you've only got 2 to 4 Fortis machines and you got $200,000 or more in machines, you're not going to be able to complete that order as fast as I can with a $20,000 setup, less than one of your machines. So it's anyways, I can rag on a long time about this, but point being, the H2S, even if you're an anti like I am, is well worth the cost and the upgrade. So highly recommend you do it if you're thinking of buying one, and recommend them above really any other brand for any other reason. If you want to wait and see their new machine that's about to come out, I believe it's in November 18th, they're going to be announcing the launch of a new machine. It'll probably be for sale by Christmas, I'm going to assume. I don't know why they would announce it November 18th without that being for sale by Christmas, but they're definitely going to try to snag some of those Christmas buys and probably Black Friday buys. So I'm hoping they're literally on a ship being shipped over here now, because I most likely will snag at least one. And that might be my dedicated multicolor printer, because that's what it's supposed to solve is multicolor printing as far as waste and speed, and that would be fantastic. But as of right now, I use these AMSs as not multicolor machines, but as machines that just pull from the next one that's empty. And that's kind of what I want. I really want, when these are done, to burn through this. I don't really sell or use this stuff that often, and some of these are so small, it's not really worth, putting them on a printer to then wait 30 minutes, an hour, to then change it again and do the same thing 4 or 5 times for a 5-6 hour printer. But, if I can put 1 or 2 at the beginning of a long print, and then have a final roll that it's going to finish on, and burn out 1, 2, 3 of these teeny little rolls here on the beginning of a larger print job, that would be fantastic. And that's kind of my goal here, and one of the reasons I was happy I got these AMS2s with the H2Ss. So anyways, thanks guys for staying on this long. If you made it this far, do a car emoji in the comments. I really appreciate the interaction. It helps the channel grow, helps other people see it. So literally your interaction of liking and commenting on this video, in a very small way, helps helps other people, because if one other person ends up seeing this video because you gave it a like or a comment, you indirectly / directly have helped end just a little bit of human suffering. And that's kind of the goal here, is to at least in this realm, at my current state, end other people's suffering with 3D printing and make it easier for everyone. As easy as 3D printing can get, it's still going to be too complicated for certain situations, jobs, and people. And in those cases, that's why you come to someone like me to make your life easy and just get the print job done. So thanks, have a good day, and happy fall. The leaves colors are changing, and the weather is dropping in temperature, and it's starting to look real pretty outside. So have a good day, guys. Like, share, subscribe. Bye.